Every once in a while, a vehicle comes along that doesn't just compete, it changes the standard. And the 2026 to 27 Toyota Stout might be one of those trucks. Because after looking at what it's expected to offer, it raises a serious question. Are most trucks today already outdated? Welcome back to MVPWHEEL, where we don't just follow the market, we break down what's actually changing it. Let's be honest. The truck industry has been stuck in a pattern for years. Bigger engines, bigger bodies, higher prices. And for a long time, that worked. But here's the problem. The world has changed. Driving habits have changed. And what people actually need from a truck has changed to dot, and that's exactly where the Stout comes in, because instead of trying to outdo other trucks in size or power, Toyota seems to be doing something completely different. They're focusing on relevance. A truck that fits modern life, not just extreme situations. Now think about your daily driving. Traffic, tight parking, short trips, city roads. Does a massive truck really make sense for that? For most people, the answer is no. And that's why the Stout's compact size is such a big deal. It's expected to be smaller, easier to handle, and far more practical for everyday use. And suddenly, driving a truck doesn't feel like a challenge anymore. It feels normal, but size is only part of the story. The real shift comes from what's under the hood. The 2026 to 27 Stout is expected to feature a hybrid powertrain. And this is where things start to feel different, because instead of relying purely on a large engine, it combines gasoline and electric power to deliver something smarter: instant torque, smoother acceleration, better fuel efficiency. And when you compare that to traditional trucks that burn fuel constantly, it starts to feel like they belong to a different era. Now let's talk about fuel economy, because this is where the word outdated really starts to make sense. Traditional trucks are known for one thing: high fuel consumption. But the Stout is expected to deliver somewhere around 35 to 40 mpg. That's a massive difference. That's the kind of number that changes how you think about owning a truck, because now, you're not just buying capability, you're buying efficiency, and that's something older trucks simply weren't designed for. Now let's talk about performance, because efficiency doesn't mean weak. The Stout is expected to deliver around 220 to 270 horsepower. And thanks to the hybrid system, the torque delivery will feel immediate and responsive. It's not about extreme power. It's about usable power. Power that works in real life, not just on paper. And that's where many traditional trucks start to feel outdated. They're built for scenarios most drivers rarely experience, while the Stout is built for the situations you face every day. Now step inside, because this is another area where things are changing fast. The Stout is expected to feature a modern interior with large touchscreens, digital displays, smartphone connectivity, and advanced safety systems. This isn't just a truck anymore. It's a connected, comfortable, everyday vehicle. And when you compare that to older trucks with basic interiors and limited tech, the difference is obvious. One feels modern. The other feels like it's stuck in the past. Now let's talk about pricing, because this could be the biggest factor of all. If Toyota manages to price the Stout competitively, it could make traditional trucks look not just outdated, but overpriced, because now you're getting better efficiency, modern tech, and practical design, potentially for less money. And that's how disruption happens, not by being louder, but by being smarter. But let's take a step back for a moment. Does this mean every other truck is suddenly useless? No, full-size and heavy-duty trucks still have their place. They're built for specific tasks, and they do those tasks well. But for the average driver, the one who uses a truck for daily life, that's where the Stout starts to make everything else feel unnecessary. And that's a powerful shift, because it changes how people think. Instead of asking, "What's the biggest truck I can buy?" they start asking, "What's the smartest truck for my life?" And that's the question the Stout answers. Now imagine this. You're about to buy a truck. You're looking at all the options: big, powerful, expensive. And then you see the Stout, smaller, more efficient, easier to drive, and designed for real-world use. That decision becomes a lot harder, because suddenly, the old way of thinking doesn't feel right anymore. And that's exactly why this truck matters. It doesn't just compete. It changes expectations. But here's the truth: not everything is officially confirmed yet. A lot of what we're discussing is based on expectations and industry trends. And that means some details could change. Still, the direction is clear. The future of trucks is not just about power. It's about balance. Efficiency. Practicality. And intelligence. And the 2026 to 7 Toyota Stout sits right at the center of that future. So the next time you look at a truck, Ask yourself this: is it built for your life or for an image? Because once you start thinking that way, a lot of trucks begin to feel outdated. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe to MVP Wheel, and turn on notifications. Because the biggest changes in the auto world aren't always the loudest ones, but they're the ones that change everything.